Hello chess friends and welcome to your out of chess channel and welcome to a very special video that I prepared for you today. Today we'll combine my two favorite passions that I had through my life. Today we'll combine football and chess because I'm not only a chess player, I used to play football really for a long time. I always played as a creative midfielder or as an attacker. I really love the game. I really love the passion that is in football. I really love to have the ball in my legs. I really love to take these set pieces like corners, free kicks and similar stuff. I really love to dribble. I really to take feints and similar stuff. This was really incredible what kind of a emotion you can get in football. So that's why it's of course probably the biggest sport in the community. And I will of course watch the forthcoming World Championship because my home country Croatia is also playing. So we're still a strong country. We finished in the second place in the 2018 World Championship in Russia. I believe that we are even stronger now. We have a great squad, but still we are not, I think, favorites because many great countries are still more favorites because I think Brazil is the top favorite. Then maybe Argentina. We have Portugal is also strong. Germany is always strong. England has really a strong team, but in my opinion, they're messing it somehow up. They're not psychologically there in the tournament, so in my opinion, England will not make it. And there are of course other great countries like Belgium, and maybe I'm missing someone, but this will be an incredible World Championship. In my opinion, Croatia has also some great chances to make a decent result in this event. So I found really a beautiful picture that I'm showing you here, where the two greatest players of all times are playing chess against each other. We have Lionel Messi, the superstar from Argentina, and also the superstar from Portugal, Cristiano Ronaldo. Here they're playing chess and they're playing on a Louis Vuitton briefcase. And actually, first of all, when I watched this picture, I thought this is nothing special. Probably they're not playing a regular game of something, or they're not showing a regular game. But actually, this game that's set up here on this briefcase is actually a beautiful game played by Magnus Carlsen against Hikaru Nakamura back from 2017 in Norway, where they play really sharp Najdorf Sicilian. So actually, the setup that you see on the briefcase is the beautiful game between Magnus Carlsen and Hikaru Nakamura. And probably maybe you are asking yourself the question who I'm considering maybe as the greatest of all times when it comes to football. In my honest opinion, there's simply no doubt. The Lionel Messi is the greatest player of all times. You can say whatever you want, but in my opinion, there's simply no doubt. Lionel Messi is the greatest player of all times, and there many players that you can consider as the second best player, third best player, because I wanted to show really an interesting statistic here. Here we have this Messi versus Ronaldo all-time statistics, and look at this. Lionel Messi has played 996 games, where Cristiano Ronaldo has already played 1,140 games. So Cristiano Ronaldo has played more than 140 games than Lionel Messi. So when you think about it, hard of 140 games are maybe even 2 whole seasons where you can make this kind of amount of games, so maybe even 3 seasons. So Cristiano Ronaldo has 3 more seasons almost more than Lionel Messi. And you'll see now Lionel Messi has 786 goals, where Cristiano Ronaldo has 818 goals. If they stop now to play the game, if they stop to play football, or at least Lionel Messi makes further 3 years and Cristiano Ronaldo stops to play, I think Lionel Messi will catch up with him when it comes to goals. I think Lionel Messi can score here 32 goals in these 3 seasons that he will play extra when Cristiano Ronaldo is retiring. And you see Lionel Messi has already more assists than Cristiano Ronaldo. And there is now a very important statistic here that says Lionel Messi has scored 100, he needs 104 minutes per goal. So he needs 104 minutes to play in order to score a goal, where Cristiano Ronaldo through his career needed 113 minutes per goal. And there is also this beautiful statistic, this minutes per goal contribution, where Lionel Messi is making every 72 minutes a goal or an assist in the game. So it's really beautiful statistic, where Cristiano Ronaldo needs 88 minutes in order to make a goal or an assist. I think this shows really that, in my honest opinion, Lionel Messi is the greatest player of all times. Lionel Messi has the most Ballon d'Ors. He has 7 Ballon d'Ors, where Cristiano Ronaldo has 5 Ballon d'Ors. in my opinion, there's nothing to compare. It's really like you're comparing maybe Magnus Carlsen to Hikaru Nakamura. You can say maybe Hikaru is the greatest tactician, but in my opinion, Magnus Carlsen is the greatest player of all time. So it's really, I think, a similar comparison where you can maybe agree with me, where you maybe are probably not agreeing with me, but this is just my opinion. In my opinion, as I said, Lionel Messi is the greatest player of all times, and if maybe Croatia is not winning the World Cup in 2022, I really would love for Lionel Messi to finish this tournament with a win. Maybe Argentina can become the world champion in football again, and I think this would be a beautiful ending of a beautiful career by Lionel Messi. I wish him all of the best, of course, also through this video. So let's see now this beautiful game that actually here Magnus Carlsen and Hikaru have played in 2017. So it's now this position that you saw in this beautiful picture played by Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. So here Magnus Carlsen opened with the move e4. We have now c5 by Hikaru, knight to f3. We have d6, d4, and I know that this is the game that's on this Louis Vuitton briefcase because Magnus Carlsen mentioned it in one of his interviews. I watched now an interview with Magnus Carlsen, and then he saw this position and he knew immediately that this was the game that he played in 2017. It was even one of the worst tournaments that Magnus Carlsen played. He finished, I think, on the 6th or 7th place. I'm not sure whenever we saw Magnus Carlsen playing such a bad tournament where he's finished only on the 6th place. Many times Magnus is simply destroying his competition in every tournament. So now in 2017 in NOR, when he didn't play his best chess, but now with the white pieces he faced now Hikaru, as we said, and now after move d4, Hikaru took, c takes d4, knight to d4, knight to f6, taking the pawn on e4, and now knight to c3. Now Hikaru played the move a6, which is now the so-called Najdorf Sicilian, and many things you can play here from white's perspective. You can play the move a4. It's a prophylactic idea where you're not allowing the move b5. You can play h3. You can play f3, going into this English attack. You can play bishop to e2, or you can play bishop to g5. Every of this move I think is perfectly fine. In the continuation, Magnus played on the so-called Adams attack with the move h3. We have now bishop g6, preparing bishop to g7, going into a similar structure like in the Dragon Sicilian, where you're trying to develop this bishop on this dark square and have a beautiful long diagonal against the b2 pawn. If something gets cleared, then of course your dark square bishop is becoming really a monster in the game. So here in the continuation, we have now g3. Magnus does the same. He's trying also to develop his light square bishop now on a beautiful square g2. We have knight to c6, bishop to e3. Bishop to e3 is possible to develop in this way because you cannot get challenged with the normal knight to g4 move because you have already played the move h3. So far normal development is here possible for white. So in the continuation, bishop to g7, bishop to g2 by Magnus, kingside castling, and now knight to d7. Here Hikaru hits the knight in the center of the board. We have now b3, preparing also ideas of a4, not allowing maybe again this b5 move to happen. So we have now knight to d4 by Hikaru, bishop to d4, bishop to d4, queen to d4, and now b6. And this is pretty standard stuff. Hikaru Nakamura is trying to fix his knight here around the square c5. The problem I think is a little bit here that you could have this diagonal opened. So far it's not possible because of course d takes e5 would come with a direct threat against the queen, but as a long-term tactic you should always be worried a little bit here, because if this diagonal opens you could really lose decisive material. So that's why here after move b6, knight to d5 was played by Magnus Carlsen. He's hitting now the pawn on e7, is hitting also the pawn on b6. In the continuation we have now bishop to b7, and now here c4 played by Magnus. He's building now the so-called Marozzi bind structure where he's having this c4 advanced and also the e4 advanced, and they are supporting this powerful knight on d5. Many times the downside about the structure is of course you have a certain space advantage, but the downside a little bit is here that you're blocking out your own bishop. So the bishop is simply blocked out by its own pawn structure. So that's why Hikaru goes into this line, kicks away first of all the queen from the center. We have now queen to e3. He expands now with the move b5. Rook to c1 was played by Magnus, and now after the b takes c4 we have rook to c4, and finally after bishop to d5, e takes d5, Hikaru Nakamura got rid of this very annoying strong and powerful knight in the center of the board. Still, the bishop is blocked out by its own pawn, and now here Hikaru Nakamura has the opportunity to launch a flank attack on the king side with the move f5, f4, e5, e4, and similar stuff. So he's trying really to break and enter here in this position. He's trying really to expand now on the king side. So in the continuation, a5 was first place, because here Hikaru is also trying to cement, really to fix the queen side with the move knight to c5, because we can agree, I think, that Magnus will eventually here in this particular position play a3 b4. He will expand on the queen side, he will create a passer, and then of course you want to have at least some kind of a blockade, so this move a5 stops at least for a while the further progress of white here on the queen side. So here we have rook from f to c1, now we have knight to c5, and now a3, preparing simply the move b4. We have now f5, really beautiful move here by Hikaru. We have b4, 8 takes b4, we have 8 takes b4, hitting the knight again, knight to d7, and now rook to c6. And you see, white is much better already. This d6 pawn is a huge strategic weakness here in black's camp, so it's not even easy to defend this position, because even if you play here the move queen to e7, if you try to protect your pawn on d6, then white is simply proceeding with the move b5. And the problem is, I think now, that you cannot play again the move knight to c5. This wasn't played in the game, but I wanted to show you how actually things can go wrong in this particular position if you try to play simply too defensively, if you try to just protect the position here on the queen side, if you're not playing actively on the king side. Now after move knight to c5, actually even a stunning rook to c5 would be possible. An exchange sacrifice would come for sure in the game. As I said, I'm pointing out this wasn't played in the game, but I wanted to show you, as I said, really this beautiful sequence that could have been played. So after d takes c5, now d6, and the pawns are rolling, the bishop gets liberated. This is now a devastating attack. The pawn on c5 is weak, so now we can even play, I don't know, rook to c7, hitting the queen, hitting the rook, will take out this pawn, will simply push the pawns further, and this is game over already for black. So this is not a good position. So that's why after move rook to c6, which hits of course the pawn on d6, Hikaru played really actively here, and Hikaru is one of the greatest players when it comes to activity in chess. I think if you want to be an attacker, if you want to be a great tactician, watch Hikaru's games, because he's always sharpening up the game. He's always trying to do some dynamics here with the move f4. He's saying you can have your pawn on d6, but I will at least create some madness here on the king side. This is the way to go. So here after move f4, we have g takes f4, e takes f4, queen to e6. Okay, we have a check, rook to f7, and now queen to d6, which is the correct choice. Look what happens, for instance, if you play rook to d6 here. Hikaru already set up a beautiful and dirty trap against Magnus. This wasn't also played in the game, but look what could have happened if you, for instance, pick up the pawn with the rook. Now you get f3, you can maybe take bishop to f3 or something, because the rook couldn't take. But now with queen to g5, we're hitting also the rook. So actually with this move rook to d6, this rook is now suddenly disconnected from this rook on c1, and actually you could get this beautiful fork, and you lose here decisive material. So this is not working. So that's why queen to d6 has to be played instead of rook to d6. So we have now queen to g5, we have king to h1. Maybe here slightly better move is to play king to h2, because you're connecting simply more pieces around the square g3. Of course f3 is going to happen, but now with bishop to f1, queen to g3, I think this is a defendable position for white. At least you can bring the queen into the game. But okay, here king to h1 was played. Now Hikaru plays f3 anyway. We have bishop to f1, and now knight to f6, simply getting the knight into the game. And now Hikaru is trying some devastating attacks like knight to g4, and queen to h4 could be very dangerous here on this diagonal. So here in the continuation, we have queen to e6, we have king to g7, and now rook to c7. This was now maybe even the first mistake that Magnus Carlsen played now in the game. Maybe queen to e1 is slightly better, because after queen to h4, you're hitting maybe the pawn on h3. Now you could counterattack with rook to c4. You could bring a new defender into the game. But after move rook to c7 that Magnus played, you see now one problem. After rook takes c7, you have lost now a little bit. After king to h6 and queen to e1, you have lost a little bit the battle on the second rank. Now you cannot compete anymore with your rook on the second rank, and now knight to g4 is the serious threat to attack further started the f2 pawn, because here after rook to e7 now Hikaru plays this beautiful sacrifice. This is the way to go. So you see how Hikaru is creating really wild attacking ideas. After move h takes g4, because you have to react. If you play forward with the move knight to, with the move d6, then you get this one, knight to f2, and the game is lost for white. So you have to take here after h takes g4. Now Hikaru plays queen to h4, attacks now the king, and here after a couple of perpetuals the game actually ended with a beautiful draw. So incredible game here by both of them. Really wild attacking ideas in the Najdorf Sicilian, in this dragon style where g6 and bishop to g7 has been played. Incredible game, and as I said, also incredible picture here by the two greatest players of all times here, Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo on a chessboard. Really great picture. I really love both of them, but in my opinion, as I said, in my honest opinion, Lionel Messi is simply the greatest player of all time. So okay, I hope that you enjoyed the game, and I hope that you enjoyed the forthcoming World Cup in 2022. I hope that you follow some games, and I hope that you root in a beautiful but calm way. Of course, we don't like to follow this bad things that can also happen in football. I hope you watch it, and this will be incredible. I will root for my home country, Croatia. Maybe we can even win the World Cup, who knows. Okay, see you soon with some more videos, and what to say, chess is the best, of course.